In the last couple of episodes, we've looked at the times and the music of 1967, but we stopped in June, and that year just keeps a-rockin'. So let's take a trip back to those heady times of the summer of 1967. Ah yes, the summer of love. There's a lot to cover, so let's drop the needle. In many ways, the summer of 1967 just keeps getting hotter. The Vietnam War is raging, and many more young soldiers are being killed, which sparks student protests throughout the country. And I get my first draft card and quickly file for a student exemption. But on the music front, July gives us the first album by the Bee Gees. Now, actually, it's their third album, but the first two were only released in New Zealand and Australia. Now, this is a psychedelic album, contains a number of hits. I Like Holiday, a hit. Every Christian Lion-Hearted Man Will Show You. New York Mining Disaster, 1941, another hit. And the third hit on the album is To Love Somebody. It reaches number 7 on the charts. Also in July, the world is introduced to a bridge, the Tallahatchie Bridge, and the song is Ode to Billy Joe, sung by Bobby Gentry. Now in the song, Billy Joe McAllister throws something off the Tallahatchie Bridge, but we're never really sure what it is. Needless to say, it had the whole country guessing. And in New Jersey, the Young Rascals are just about to drop the word young from their name, and they released their third album, Groovin'. It contains the title cut, but also the hit, How Can I Be Sure? If You Knew, which was written by all the members of the band, and I also like the song, It's Love. In July, Walt Disney introduces the world to a new song. It's a great big beautiful tomorrow when he unveils the Carousel of Progress in Disneyland. And in Detroit, a race riot breaks out on 12th Street. 43 people are killed, 342 injured, and over 1,000 buildings are burned. Let's go up the country. Baby, don't you want to go? Yeah, you may remember those lyrics from the song Going Up the Country by Canned Heat. But we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. They didn't release that song until 1968. But with their breakthrough performance at the Monterey Pop Festival, they released their first album, Canned Heat, which is a cover of a lot of blues standards. The album includes Rollin' and Tumblin', which they performed at the Monterey Pop Festival, Bullfrog Blues, Dust My Broom, and Catfish Blues. Now we get to August. And in the UK, an album is released, and it's called Piper at the Gates of Dawn. When the album is released in the US, it has a totally different title. The title is the name of the group, Pink Floyd. The band includes Syd Barrett on lead vocals and guitar, Nick Mason on drums, Roger Waters vocal and bass, Rick White on keyboards and vocals. Now this is definitely a psychedelic album. And as typical for the times, the UK release and the US release are vastly different. Not only do they have different names, but different tracks. The UK has 11 songs, the US only has 9. Missing from the US release are Astronomy Domini, Flaming, and Bike. But the US release has the UK single, See Emily Play. The album was recorded at Abbey Road Studios at the same time that the Beatles were there recording Sgt. Pepper's. And the story has it that Pink Floyd came and sat in while the Beatles were recording Lovely Rita. Now, Syd Barrett was heavily into LSD, and this album definitely reflects this. And he just gets worse. So the band calls in David Gilmour to help out. Syd Barrett will leave Pink Floyd the following year. And in Los Angeles, after releasing Freak Out and Absolutely Free, Frank Zappa decides to record his first solo album, Lumpy Gravy. Yeah, that's Frank on the cover. Now this album was released by Capitol Records, but Frank is under contract with Verve and MGM. so he can't actually perform on the record. So he wrote all the music and he conducts the orchestra, and yeah, that's him on the cover, but he's not playing on the record. Some of the tracks show Frank's wit. Sink Tray, Local Butcher, Foamy Soaky, Let's Eat Out, and Teenage Grand Finale. Also in August, Tim Buckley releases his second album, Goodbye and Hello. I like No Man Can Find the War, I Never Asked to Be Your Mountain, Goodbye and Hello, and Morning Glory, which Blood, Sweat and Tears would cover in 1968. And in San Francisco, the media decides to coin the term Summer of Love. And in a neighborhood, San Francisco, which is intersected by the streets Haight and Ashbury, the hippies descend. There are free concerts in the street. There are kids everywhere with flowers in their hair. And head shops start appearing, selling drug paraphernalia and those popular tie-dyed t-shirts. George Harrison wants to see what is going on, so he travels to Haight-Ashbury and walks the streets among the crowd until he gets hassled and then quickly departs. I gather George was not really impressed with the scene because he later recalled that the Summer of Love was a bunch of spotty kids on drugs. Well, spotty kids or not, the music just keeps coming in the Summer of Love. Big Brother and the Holding Company released their first album featuring Janis Joplin to capitalize on their success at the Monterey Pop Festival. I like Bye Bye Baby, Easy Rider, Women is Losers, and The Great Down on Me. Janis just nails that one. In August, Thurgood Marshall is appointed the first African-American justice to the Supreme Court. Moving eastward to the Windy City of Chicago, another debut album comes out from a group called Spanky and Our Gang. The album contains 3 hit songs, Lazy Day, Sunday Will Never Be the Same, and Making Every Minute Count. The songs were all hits, but the album really didn't sell that well. Continuing our trek eastward, we arrive in New York City and meet the Vanilla Fudge. Now this is a really interesting band, and this first album is quite a trip. They combine psychedelia with the beginnings of heavy metal covering other people's songs. Check out these tracks. You get their treatment of 2 Beatles songs in Ticket to Ride and Eleanor Rigby, the Zombies hit of She's Not There, Sonny Bono's hit Bang Bang, and of course the classic freak out 7-minute version of the Supremes hit You Keep Me Hanging On. I'll tell you, every time I pull out this album and play it, instantly transports me back to 1967. So in July and August of that summer, there was a lot of great music produced. And I've just talked about 11 albums that came out in that period. But you know, you could tell things were changing. The youth movement was catching on. Things were definitely moving forward. So we will move forward in the next episode to the fall of 1967. Pull out Vanilla Fudge and keep a rockin'. If you liked this episode, hit the like button, and you can also leave me a comment down below, and I'll respond to you. If you subscribe, we'll let you know when future episodes come out.